called Motown for a reason. The entire automobile industry seemed to have been centred in Detroit. In a short period, from about 1903 to 1914, the automobile took over America. Henry Ford had his plant here. So had General Motors, Chrysler, Big. They were all here. When the crash came, it hit Detroit bad. And the Instagram spot is the spirit of Detroit. A bit lopsided, do you think? I could swim to Canada from here, just a little downriver, the Ambassador Bridge. And beside the Spirit of Detroit statue, the headquarters of General Motors. You always see these buildings when you see waterfront pictures of Detroit. The towering towers of the riverfront of the new Detroit comeback city. And here it is, the very original traffic light from Woodward Street in Detroit. It was installed in 1924, and the key here was Mr. Potts put in an amber light. There had been manually operated green and red before. Now we had an amber light. Some people say it's to prepare to stop. Other people say it's drive a little faster. I didn't say that. There were 20,000 vehicles going through the junction at the time in 1924. If you look back in the history of Irish motoring, the entire number of vehicles registered in Ireland in 1924 was 20,000. Just shows you how the automobile had progressed in 20 years to becoming king of Detroit and eventually king of America. Here in the Motown Museum in Detroit, a very familiar hat and glove.
When it's cold outside, I've got the monkey man. I guess you say what can make me feel this way, my girl, my girl, my girl, talking about my girl, my girl.
Literally the train that goes nowhere, looping around the middle of Detroit, ride for free.
The riverfront.
And this is Canada on the other side. The Detroit People Mover is free. But at the moment it only goes in one direction, round and round in circles, the road to nowhere.
Oh, that breeze feels so good.
You've got a director there. Tara just pressed it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on.
Like that?
No, we don't want it on.
Yeah,
Okay, you ready? Yeah, just press record and we'll go
So that's
in. Ready? Okay, thank you. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm just gonna go in there.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Got it, perfect.
I'll take my bag off.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Smile, everyone.
Like this photo here is a kid flipping on a mattress in the ghetto. So we didn't have trampolines and things like that, so we would improvise and use mattresses to.
So show us your flip.
Exactly.
Go, show.
The Guardian building was built by the largest bank in Detroit, completed in April 1929, just in time for the Wall Street crash. You feel the pulse of a city in the marketplace. Here we are, Shed 3 Eastern Market. It's early on Saturday morning. Michigan Central train station opened 1913, closed 1987. They've turned it into a beautiful piece, keepsake, like you'd put on your mantelpiece. Big mantelpiece. The place was pretty much a ruin when the Ford organization purchased it in 2018. The last remaining staircase in Michigan Central Station. Wouldn't pass the safety codes nowadays. A joy to watch and a joy to hear the story of the restoration. It's quite a distance out of Detroit to come to the Henry Ford Museum of Innovation. Then you drive through what they call the Greenfield campus. Henry Ford created the Dearborn city within a city, so you wouldn't have to pay the same taxes. If you have enough money, I suppose the politicians will dance to your tune. An exact replica of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, here in Dearborn, Michigan. That's what Henry Ford built. You can tell he was aiming to make history. This is the Overlander. A lot of the features of the automobile came from Detroit. Things like the gear stick. Here we are driving over the roads of America, which was not easy in the 1920s. Here in a couple of meters you can walk back through the history of the motor industry, starting here with the steam powered from 1865, and you go down until they eventually start running on petrol, and of course we all know what happened next. So Henry Ford extended the Model T suspension and made it a little more robust to go along rural roads in America. And hey presto, here we have the first school bus. Franklin Roosevelt's limousine. And just at the next stop, Theodore Roosevelt's horse and carriage. Different time, different presidents, same concept. Teddy Roosevelt didn't like automobiles, even though they'd been invented at the time. He preferred the old-fashioned horse and carriage. But along came his nephew, Franklin Roosevelt, and he's over here with his limousine. Eisenhower, Ike, didn't like wind through his hair, so he put the bubble on top of his presidential vehicle. Here it is in the Henry Ford Museum. This is the car in which JFK, John F. Kennedy, was assassinated. Looks different. It was blue. It was convertible. They wanted to get President Johnson back out in the public very quickly after the tragic events in Dallas. So they changed the colour to black and they put the windows and the roof in. A somber exhibit here in Detroit in the Henry Ford Museum of Innovation. President Ronald Reagan was in this vehicle when the attempted assassination by John Hinckley took place. Pushed into the back, the bullet ricocheted off the car. This is the actual Rosa Parks bus where history was made.
What happened that day, on December 1st, 1955, is Rosa had been working all day. She was kind of tired.
And here we are on the actual Rosa Parks bus, going to the back of the bus where I belong. Rescued from Newfoundland, of all places, the very first Mustang Ride Sally Ride. It was built specifically for women. You can see how stylish, beautiful she is.
Mustang Sally. Guess you better slow your.
Because it's a museum of innovation, I have the Wright brothers about to take off over my head. First flight 1903, first piece of aviation regulation 1903. That's the industry for you. Here we have a locomotive loaded with firewood. Reminds you of the song, "Are you right there, Michael, are you right?" And the rest of you go gathering sticks because the boiler's teetotally out. Combine harvester from 1938. A while since I was in one of these. It's a 1975 New Holland combine harvester. And maybe the best story of all from the museum, Henry Ford had to go to the opposition to buy his wife a car. She didn't want to crank start the car. She wanted to get in and out, and she bought the electric, the Detroit Electric. Very expensive, very stylish. And she had to park it outside his house and remind him Ford was not alone in the automobile world every night. And here it is, the original. No bother, no bother. Henry Ford's original factory is here in the Detroit suburb of Piquette. It closed after only 6 years and had to move to a bigger facility, but by then the show was well and truly on the road, so to speak. What they call the alphabet set, all the Fords, 36 of them, all the way up to Model T. Some in better condition than others.
It starts with the letter A, so it does A, B, C, F, K, N, R, S. The last car to come out of the factory. This is the end of production. It's a car that is a touring car. It's $850. That's the base price. Now that sounds like a really good deal. 24, so it's like $25,000 in our money. But it doesn't include the whole car. So Mr. Ford can hold back parts of the car that today you feel you deserve, but you're not going to get them. So the roof was optional. Imagine a car today with roof optional.
And the amazing 1926 Fordson tractor. This is the type that was made in Cork. This one is from Dearborn, Michigan. Contrary to the legend, you could have them in colours other than black. This is the queen of them all, the Ford Model T.
Anybody else want to?
The Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. Lots of cities have institutes of arts or arts galleries with great work, artworks. There's some Van Gogh, Monet, all those people here. They don't have this amazing industrial fresco. You find it upstairs in the Riviera Court, in the Detroit Institute of Arts. Amazing painting of Eleanora of Toledo from 1545. The background was blue, it's faded to brown. There's a similar one in Florence, and it's still blue.
So
1927. It's post World War I. The carnage of World War II.
Was Cézanne the greatest of them all? Picasso said, "This is the gentleman that inspired everything that followed, all that abstraction, cubism, everything." Paul Gauguin had a complicated love life. I suspect he'd be in jail today, but here he is in the Institute of Arts in Detroit. Van Gogh loved yellow. Here's the wonderful postman of Arles. His image preserved in countless museums around the world. This is a fabulous example in the Institute of Arts in Detroit. Van Gogh's Diggers. Is it potatoes? Cézanne and his wife didn't live together. They lived separate lives, but she used to pop around to be painted by him frequently. And here's a fine example in the Institute of Arts in Detroit. Jour sera, view of Ocote. Institute of Arts, Detroit. Van Gogh loved yellow, and he loved putting paint on in large quantities onto the canvas. He has his hat on in one of the many, many, many self-portraits here in the Institute of Arts in Detroit. I feel at home with these jockeys, setting off to visit distant hills by Edward Degas. This piece of ivory, you can see the curve of the tusk, the elephant's tusk. Detroit being Motown, the rock star in the Institute of Art is men at work. That's what they are, building automobiles in the golden age of Detroit, the 1930s, by the Mexican artist Riviera. Series of frescoes. Climb the stairs, you'll find them here. David Whitney was a lumber baron, and his home is now a fine dining restaurant. Let's go in and see what's going on. Exactly as you'd expect as you come into a lumber baron's room. Elegant staircase. So we've arrived, we've a piano playing, and the waitress has already been over to check and deliver my water. Another speciality of the house, chicken dip. Really going to enjoy this. A neo-Gothic lumber merchant's mansion transformed into a fine dining destination. This is Detroit at its most unexpected and at its finest. An abandoned building turned into a very, very spectacular hotel lobby, the Whitney Hotel, and the iconic clock. One of the enduring brands associated with Detroit is Shinola, and Ron here.
Yes.
Tell me about your Shinola watch.
This is the all black Shinola, and they don't make it anymore. So yeah, this is a collector's item.
Thank you. Going to pop into Matt King's Canal to see what all the fuss is about. And another classic Detroit experience here, Iggy's Eggies. Going to stop by for breakfast, see what they've got.
Lindsay?
So I've got a choice of 5 breads. I got a cheese, meat, veggies, and something else, and griddled turkey and different types of cheese. And the whole thing came to something like $12 here at Iggy's Eggies in Detroit.
Take it up. All right, there you are. You take care.
Ta-da! And there we are, hash browns instead of bread. When I was young in the schoolyard, they used to say you've egg on your chin. It was code for your fly is open. Now I really have egg on my chin, thanks to Iggy's Eggies. And all over Detroit, they call their bars speakeasies, as if they're recreating something wonderful from the 1920s. This is Cafe de Mongo's Speakeasy. This is the entrance to Willow's Speakeasy off a car lot in Detroit. Social media is full of complaints of people who can't find it. All you have is a willow tree on the door. Willow advertises itself as a speakeasy, and it's just like that. You have to ring the door, come in, and you're in here in the darkness, behaving like it's the 1920s. Which part of Detroit always is? And this one looks like they can check you through the bars. I wonder do you end up behind bars? Downtown Louis Grill has got draft Guinness, but I'm here, a lovely Detroit IPA. A much trendier looking joint. So let's go and see what's inside. So this is exciting. They get a bracelet and you go over and you serve yourself. I'm going to see how this works. It looks really, really good fun. So we stopped in for a coney. Let's see how this works out.
You do this all the time, right?
Oh, wait a minute, can we get a picture quick? Yeah, go. Wow, I'm so impressed. Where are the boys to see that?
And here she is, with fries as well. All bright flowers, shining, very springtime. Let's have a look inside of Townhouse. I've ordered the speciality, the dry aged burger. Get a nice feel with the lighting and with the vibe and with the music. In a small plaza at the entrance to Corktown, a memorial to all the people from Ireland who came to Detroit, who helped build the city and who died here. Detroit's oldest neighbourhood, Corktown, of course, 1830s, named after the county where most of the residents came from to found this neighbourhood. Up to 9 people could share a room in this. It's famous now. It has its own social media channel and an archaeological dig by local university students. Slow's Barbecue is responsible for bringing Corktown back in the map. Absolutely fabulous place and really, really good value for money. The Gaelic League Irish American Club was opened 1920. I feel welcome here. Oldest parish in the city and an icon of the Irish community, the Most Holy Trinity Church. The Holy Trinity Church, built in the 1830s, icon of many, many generations of Irish people. Since the 1830s, when the first people came to this place from Cork, it is still named Corktown. Motown, only in Detroit. Detroit Airport 4 times weekly, Dublin to Detroit, opened this May. Interesting to see something like Corktown Airport. This was the Irish suburb from people of Cork. It was not a very trendy place, and now it's become so trendy that the mall here has shops named after it. And the flight is on its way to Dublin, Ireland, just in case anyone might think you're going to Dublin, Ohio. So we are on our way back on the 292 from Detroit to Dublin. It's a new route. It only started in May, 4 times a week. Really looking forward to this flight.